Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are checking out here at PC Mag. It is getting late in the day. We are having some fun here today and we are checking out the first ever Alexa-powered board game. Now, I have seen Alexa games before. You might have seen Alexa games. You might have heard Alexa games rather, because you can have Alexa, you can have Alexa play various games with you through speech, but this is the first time I've seen Alexa play a game that has physical pieces. And we have Alex from Sensible Objects here with the When in Rome game to talk about, do we want to just start playing the game, or can you tell me how the game works first?
Why don't I give you a little bit of an intro. So yeah, Alexa is your host and your pilot in a travel trivia game.
Okay.
So the goal of the game is to fly around this world map, go to different cities, and meet real people who live there. So we've recorded about 40 hours of interactive dialogue with 20 locals, one from each city on the board. So let's say, for example, you were to fly to Rio, you would meet Jorge, who is our Rio local, and he's going to tell you about life in his hometown, and he's going to ask you a question. There are different topics in the game. It might be buildings and history, it might be slang and language, and you're going to have to confer as a team with your friends you're playing the game with as to what you think the answer is going to be. Then it's multiple choice. You say A, B, C, or D to give the answer, and fingers crossed you'll get it right and win some points.
Okay, and is this on the market now?
So the game is live for pre-orders on Amazon.com, and we're shipping July 2nd, so coming soon.
And of course, it requires an Alexa-powered speaker in your home.
That's correct.
Okay, let's play around with it a little. I want to see how it sounds.
Okay, cool. So Alexa, open When in Rome.
Red team, you were chosen in the Icebreaker Round. Which city do you want to start in? When you've chosen a city, just say, Alexa, fly to Berlin, or whichever city you want to go to.
Alexa, fly to Montreal.
That's a great first choice. Let's head over there now. Great, we've now landed in Montreal. Put the red team plane on the board in Montreal.
One step ahead, one step ahead.
Every city has a new local to meet. And in this case, we have Adrienne. Let's say hi to them now.
Bienvenue à Montréal. You're gonna love it here.
Adrienne has a question about myths and legends for you to answer. It's an easy one, so it's worth 3 points. Red team, here we go with myths and legends. Adrienne, take it away with a question on Montreal.
Montréal has something funny in common with a lot of other Canadian cities. Can you tell me what that is? A, it's got a maple syrup bank. B, part of the city is underground. C, Justin Trudeau's face is on the Parliament roof. D, there's a real pet moose in City Hall.
Red team, take a moment to reflect on your answer.
So now we can confer. Do you want to take a guess?
Yeah, actually, I've been to Montreal, and because it gets so cold there, just like in Toronto, there's a whole network of tunnels under the city connecting a lot of the downtown. So, B, I think. Alexa, B.
Good job, c'est parfait. That's exactly right.
Yes!
Part of Montreal is underground. Like a lot of Canadian cities, this is because it gets so cold in the winter that people can't walk up on the streets outside. You can shop and eat down there and maybe even find a good route back to your hotel. But I don't recommend you visit in the winter, seriously.
Congratulations.
Alexa, exit. So, okay, so you said you collected 20 hours from
It's about 40 hours of dialogue from 20 locals.
Okay.
So there's 30 questions per city. There's also other kinds of interactions. So you can see here we have these souvenirs. So these Alexa will place these on the board during the game. And if you can be the first person to get to a souvenir, and answer a question in that city, then you'll have an extra cool adventure with that local. So they'll tell you, like, how did you come by the plectrum in Cape Town? Maybe you were in a township and you got into a super secret private gig and the guitarist threw it to you in the audience. Maybe you were in a water fight in Bangkok on Songkran, which is this big festival of having a giant water fight that they have in Bangkok that we've been learning about. And maybe a button popped off your shirt and you picked it up and you take it home to remember the festival that you went to. So it's like trying to get into those cool experiences that you have when you travel, this idea that the locals are your guide, and the audio, and one of the things Alexa is amazing for, is like a great way to spark our imagination. When we take the screen away, suddenly we can picture ourselves in these places, I think, more easily.
Well, and we're looking at the other people we're playing with, and we're talking to the people around the table, not to a tablet.
Right, and that's one of our passions as a company. We really believe in face-to-face, not face-to-screen. And we think that Alexa is an incredible technology to support those kinds of interactions. It's always available, really fun interactions. We can have a load of cool content in the cloud coming through to your home, but it's also kind of unobtrusive and doesn't get in the way of laughing and joking with your friends.
Now, talking about the cloud, so one thing I'm always a little concerned about with board games is replayability and running out of content. Do you have plans to re-up the content after a certain amount of time to make it more replayable?
Yeah, we absolutely do. I think it's a big advantage that we have is that we can create downloadable content, we can update the game, and of course, even with the core game, it's incredibly replayable because not just like a set of questions on cards that you just cycle through, we can remember what questions you've been asked and always serve you fresh ones. So you're going to kind of work through that content. It's going to take you like 10 or 20 games to get through all of the questions in the set. The other thing we're working on is downloadable voice packs. So the first one of those is going to be like a journey into the nightlife of these cities. So you're going to have 20 locals who represent the kind of people you might meet on a really awesome night out in these places. So the kind of launch game is more PG-13, kind of family friendly, and that one will be more of a sort of adults only.
So you can have a day board versus a night board.
Right, and maybe meet some real interesting characters, who knows. And then coming next year, we have a kids pack. So questions asked by kids to kids.
Oh, that's great. I know, yeah, my daughter would absolutely love that. Now, you said it's not a card-based game, and yet I see cards. What are the cards for?
So these are upgrade cards. You know, when we travel, we like to get upgraded, right? You know, and some of these help you fly to different places.
I need help.
Yeah, it's true. And that card, for example, will help you get a hint when there's a difficult question that you can't answer. Here's my personal favorite though, which is Alexa, upgrade please, it's time to take out the trash. This has no gameplay function particularly. All that happens is that the local in the opposing city's location will just insult that team for about 30 seconds in the style of their hometown.
Oh, wow.
You know, there's colloquial trash talking from 20 different locals to discover.
And in the future night game, that could get you could definitely learn some vocabulary.
Oh boy, yes.
Yeah.
The R-rated version. Who knows where that might take us?
So now, are you committed solely to Alexa here, or do you see it being Google Assistant, Cortana, any other voice assistants out there?
So we'll be shipping Google Assistant early next year. Those are the two platforms we're focused on for now. They have the biggest install base, the most evolved kind of developer ecosystem around the platforms, but we're absolutely open to porting to other platforms over time. We want to be available to as many players and consumers as we can.
Okay. Is this your first game?
No, it's our second game. So we're a startup. We're about 3 years old. Our first game is called Beasts of Balance. It's a stacking game that comes to life. So you stack these colorful objects into a tower, and then it's sitting on some custom sensing hardware that's then connected to an app running on your tablet, phone, or smart TV. And the story of that game is creation. So you are trying to create life in this world, and you have these building blocks of life, which are these weird objects. So you have beasts and modifiers and ways to mutate and evolve your creatures. But you have to be careful, because when the tower gets knocked over, the world you've created kind of explodes.
Oh, okay. So when in Rome, how much is this going to sell for?
This is $30, $29.95.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, and it's a two-team game.
Yep, so Alexa is your host. She'll divide you into two teams. So we recommend like 4 to 8 players is ideal. So you've got like 2 to 4 players on each team.
Or 2 people who are obsessed with travel.
Yeah, two people who are super keen.
I would definitely play one of these sides by myself because I'm a bit of a travel obsessive.
Yeah, well, you nailed that question. So obviously, get into some hard questions when you play.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, this is When in Rome. It is coming out you said in about 2 months?
No, so it's on pre-order right now.
Pre-order right now.
And shipping July 2nd on Amazon.com.
Shipping in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. Shipping in 2 weeks. The first Alexa-enabled board game, travel trivia. It will be upgraded with time. It looks like a lot of fun. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing with PC Mag. We'll have more cool things on PC Mag's YouTube channel. Just keep checking back.